Hello, everyone. My name is Maddie Kuhn. I am the head coach with Homemade Method. Been with Homemade since 2017 and also a nutritionist. And with me today is Deborah Corner. She's a longtime veteran member. She's been with us since August 2018, 5 years now. Hi, Deborah. Thank you so much for
I
joining me. Wonderful. So, we're doing this testimonial interview today because you've had incredible results of the program, and specifically over the past year have just made marked improvements on all your blood numbers and have been able to lose some stubborn weight. And we just wanted to commend you and tell your story. So, I'd love to kick this off by having you share a little bit about what what were your blood numbers and weight at prior to joining the program.
okay. Well, thank you for having me on. And what started all of this was I think my highest number was at 11. Um
And
my
that's your
1C,
A1C.
my
Yeah.
A1C, sorry.
No, no
And
worries.
my weight at the time when I started was 240 pounds. My highest weight ever was at 255. So, I just knew I had to do something, especially when I go in the doctor's office and it would say morbidly obese. I mean, that just, it irked me so much. And you asked me too how I found you. Is
You
that?
could, yeah, go ahead and share that
Oh,
story.
okay.
Yeah.
Of course, I'm on Facebook all the time, and started out with family, just so we could share pictures because everybody lives far away, and started seeing, because it seems like you just talk the word lose weight, and all of a sudden you see all these ads, and of course Anna started coming up. And the thing that hit me was when she said, eat your favorite foods. Well, of course, duh, I want to eat all my favorite foods and didn't know what else to expect. But I thought, this is perfect. I'm going to try this. So I came on.
Love it. We're so happy you found us. What was your eating and cooking like prior to joining the program?
Well, of course, I was eating a lot of sweets. Sweets just go down so easily. And a lot of Mexican food. I live in Arizona, and of course, I grew up on Mexican food. Tortillas, I mean, tons of white flour. Um, all the foods that could possibly be bad for me were on my plate, and very little veggies. I mean, I was not a vegetable person. So that was, hardly ever on my plate. And if it was maybe just a tiny little serving because my husband loved them. So I would make some, but I wouldn't eat them. Anyway, that was how that started.
Yeah. Okay. So very little veggies, which is hard to believe now because the pictures of your food are just gorgeous, vibrant, all colors of the rainbow, vegetables. And yeah, it's quite the transition you've had.
Yeah,
Um, so had you tried other diets prior to joining us?
I did. I tried Weight Watchers. I went to diabetic nutritionists a number of times. I mean, this is, over the years. I was diagnosed in 1978 with gestational diabetes. Both my mother and my father had type 2, multiple other people in the family. It was mainly, based on the type of foods that we ate and the lifestyle. So once once I started going to the nutritionist, all I heard, and a lot of it is mental, all I heard was you need to just have 15 carbohydrates a day. That was it. 15 grams. And so, I mean, talk about not sustainable. That was me exactly. There was no way that was going to happen. I love bread. I mean, I'm probably made up of 90% bread, is what I think. But I did that. And then later on, it wasn't until um, 2013, I think it was, I had lap band surgery, thinking that was going to be the answer. I mean, healthy eating, right amounts was not in the picture. It was some quick way to lose the weight because they kept telling me and threatening me that I was going to have all these things and lose limbs and go blind. So I thought, okay, I'm going to do the lap band. Well, I did the lap band, and I don't know how many people know this, but they put a little bit of liquid in it to fill up this lap band so that your stomach can only consume a little bit, right? This little tiny thing. Well, I couldn't even take that. He had to take all of the liquid out because nothing would go down. So I was constantly throwing up and it was miserable. So that lasted, with nothing in there. It still was smaller, but it still was a miserable feeling. My family laughs at me because I would jump up and down to get food to go down. It was awful. So eventually it broke and I had to have surgery to have it taken out. And that was just a couple years after I had it put in. So it wasn't in there for a long time, which was fine because it was not a great experience. I would not recommend it to anyone, but there's much easier ways to lose weight.
Yeah, that's
That's what it was. Weight Watchers a little bit now and then, and walking, trying to think that was going to help some. It did help a little, but
yeah.
never enough.
I'm so sorry you had that experience with the lap band. That sounds miserable
It was.
and very challenging to navigate. Well, I'm very grateful that you joined us so you could find a sustainable way to heal your body and not just try to consume very small amounts of carbohydrates or severely limit the portions that you're able to eat. And the idea of you having to jump up and down to get food down is like, it's so miserable, it's almost comical. Like,
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
yeah,
My family laughed.
poor thing, your poor body.
Okay.
Um, Okay, let's talk about some of the positive things here
Okay.
that you've been able to achieve with us because this is like just such an inspiring story. So if you could walk us through like what your first initial couple of weeks or months with us looked like, and then we'll dive into a little bit more of the later part of your story.
Oh, okay. Well, the
Yeah.
first 4 months, and at the time when I joined, it was a 4-month program.
Hmm.
And those first 2 months, I followed it to the T. I mean, every single meal, I did correctly. Um, I don't remember us having that many snack options at that time, but when I did snack, it was mostly like nuts. I'd have
Hmm.
nuts and that was it. Um, so I lost 30 pounds in those 4 months. But what I was doing also, and I'm saying exactly 4 months, um, I was not reading things and listening to the videos as much as I should have. So directly after those 4 months, which I was really pleased that I had lost 30 pounds and my numbers were starting to go down. Um, then I started to watch the videos over and over again. There were certain ones, the ones on diabetes, the ones on, Cook, Eat, Listen. Those to me were so important. And eventually, I still will go back and look at them just because I think I'm amazed at, what I have done with my own life. And so I watch them and I try and help other people in the program. And so I don't want to say the wrong thing. So I'll go back and make sure I get it right before I write something up. But it just was so life changing for me. And, the little light bulbs start to go on. And so I wasn't so much concentrating on getting full. I was concentrating on when I was satisfied. So I started eating less and less. Um, at the beginning, I think everybody does this because I've noticed the other ladies when they write, it's I'm hungry, I need to eat more. Well, it's mental. And that was the big thing for me is learning that the mental part of it was so important. And that's where the change had to come. And so of course, this is 5+ years later, and I know, that the mental was there. And I know I have changed so much with that change in my mindsets. So it's just to me, it was a miracle. It really was. I mean, it's life changing. Um, the people that have been involved, the coaches. I mean, I'm always thanking, you and Katie and Anna, but to me, I honestly do thank you. Because, I mean, you've even written to me when there's nothing going on. How are you doing? To me, it's such a a family, you know, getting people that are involved on the Facebook page. We become friends. Um, People that I'm closer to there than other people that I've met, of course, on Facebook. I mean, I have my friends and family, of course, but this group of people, we all have something in common. And, you know, I may not have certain issues that someone else does, but for the most part, we have something in common. It's food issues. So to me, it's been life changing. It's been great.
Yeah, I love hearing that. Well, first off, I have to say, like, we love having you in the program. You are such a sweet voice of like reason and kindness and compassion, especially in our group and with members that are trying to shift their mindset from dieting to like listening to their bodies, which is a big shift. Because you've experienced it. So thank you so much from the bottom of our hearts. It's very sweet. Um, I do want to talk a little bit about, so when you first joined the program, you lost 30 pounds, which is incredible. I feel like anyone that they dedicate 4 months to really shifting the way they eat. Um, one of the main things you did was adding in more vegetables and like starting to shift towards whole grains because that is a big part of our program, rather than reduction of carbs or limiting yourself to like something like 15 grams of carbs per day. And so, you're still eating real food without like this insane restriction that is not easy to do long term or even short term, and from my experience. And you lost 30 pounds. Did you see any other blood number reductions there um,
Um,
in the initial program?
Automatically, the doctors that I had would put you on cholesterol medication and blood pressure medication, you know, when you have long-term diabetes.
Yeah,
I had long-term insulin that I was taking. So, you know, it's automatic for them to do that because, you know, that's what eventually happens with the
yeah,
long-term diabetes.
yeah.
So I was on those medications. I still am on some of those because
Hmm.
they're being really hesitant, you know, to take me off. And you know how I recently was taken off of insulin. So, you know, huge. Um,
Yeah, you were on insulin for like 20 years, right?
oh yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's wild. It's incredible. And for anyone who's taking insulin, the idea that you can be on it for 20 years and reverse your diabetes to the point where you bring your A1C down enough to be off of it is just like, that is so monumental. It's so incredible. I remember seeing you post that in the group and just being like, yes! Oh my gosh, I hope she's celebrating. We're doing a
Oh
happy dance for you big
yeah.
time.
I
But
was so happy. It, you know, it was great. And I mean, this happened over the years. You know, I was reducing the amount that I was taking, you know, as I would lose more weight and as my A1C was going down. And I mean, mind you, nobody's perfect. And,
no.
you know, I would have a treat now and then and, you know, kind of watch the numbers. But like you said, and I know we'll go into this, but it wasn't until the end of last year. And I mean, that's 4 years into the program. And I was, again, my numbers were all going down. But it wasn't until then that I totally understood what was going on, how I could cure myself with food and figure out that I was the one that was in control of this. I remember, you know, one question a while back that someone brought up about what it is that you do. How do you know that this is happening? And for me, you know, it wasn't easy. It wasn't fast. It was slow, but all of a sudden I realized it was there. I knew the answer and it worked. I mean, it absolutely worked. I was able to lose more weight, know what I had to put on my plate, know what type of foods to cook and to eat, what to eat when I went out. I remember I used to panic. We're going on vacation. What am I going to eat? You know, how can I choose the foods? Well, I know. I know what to choose. And I don't want those other foods. You know, it's amazing to me. It really
Mm.
is.
That's so beautiful to have that kind of freedom also to be in a social environment and not be worried anymore. What a gift. That's
Yeah.
so incredible. So I love you talking about just like it finally clicked, like year 4, and you're like, oh, all of a sudden you understand the full concept of like, I'm going to nourish my body with whole natural foods and I am going to eat for satisfaction. And that's what it's going to get me there. And to have that click fully for you is so beautiful, because just like you said, you were able to finally get off insulin because of this. And do you mind sharing, do you have any of your comparable blood numbers, and like the total weight loss you've hit so far in the program?
Well, in the program, okay, I'm not a mathematician,
That's okay, neither am
and
I.
I didn't write it all down, but, I started at 240 in the program, and I'm at 2 1 it's hard for me to say 100 and I haven't been in forever, maybe high
Yeah,
school, but, I'm at 158 now. So, I mean, it's almost 100 just within the program. And it's going to be well over 100 of from my highest weight. So,
that's
I mean,
incredible.
I went yesterday to Costco because my pants were like falling down again. I mean, when I started the program, I was wearing a size 20, and this is a plus size 20, not regular.
Yeah.
And then I started going down in the sizes, and I was at a size 16, still plus, this last year. This year, I finally, after January, something like that. I mean, I was still wearing clothes too big, but um, I started buying 14. God, I gotta get that 200 out of there. But I started wearing a 14. Well, we went to Colorado this last week, and when I put my phone in my back pocket, my pants start to fall, right? I know, too much information,
No,
but
I love it. It's such
my
a sweet
pants start to
image.
fall, and I thought, "I need to get smaller size." So I went to Costco yesterday and I bought size 12. I mean, I wasn't a size 12 in high school. So
Wow.
it's just amazing to me. And my husband doesn't make a face anymore when I say I need to go buy some more clothes.
Yeah. He's like, yeah, you do. Your pants are falling down.
Exactly, exactly. And it's
Oh,
hard for me with the shirts because I mean, I'm used to,
yeah,
a baggier shirt, and I don't
totally.
wear any form-fitting clothes. I will never be in a bikini, I'll tell you that. Along with large loss of weight, you also, get some baggy skin, so
Yes. Yes. That is actually a common question. Like, what do I do? I'm like, well, it's your body. Like,
uh-huh.
it's
Yep,
just a part of it.
yep, and that's
Yeah.
okay. It's okay.
Yeah. It is okay. It is absolutely okay. Yeah. That's so incredible. Size 12. I am just like, that is such a incredible shift and transformation. I love that as you've lost weight, you've gone and gotten yourself clothes that fit. That's something that we, if possible, we want to encourage people to do, because when you are wearing clothes that are either too tight and uncomfortable and you're trying to get down to a size, you often beat yourself up too much and you feel terrible in your clothes. But if you also wear like clothes that are too big that are your former size, like you're keeping this idea in your head that like you're going to go back there, right? And
Yes.
this isn't forever. This isn't long term, and we really want to shift people's mindsets to like you're losing this weight for the last time and you're going to feel good, and this is going to be your new body, and
Oh, yeah.
you get to get back some of that, you know, beautiful mobility and less aches and pains, more energy, less medication, less worry about protecting your heart and being able to keep up with your grandkids or your great grandkids, you know?
Yep,
So, so
yeah.
incredible. I love that. Size 12 yesterday, girl. Congratulations. Let's talk a little bit about the food you're eating right now that is like helping you get all these incredible results, like losing almost 100 pounds and dropping several sizes.
Yep.
getting off insulin medication, reversing diabetes.
Yep. I totally love all of the soups in the program. I mean, I'm a big soup person. Um, yeah, always looking forward to when summer is over because we have quite a bit of heat here in Arizona, but I still will eat soup in the summer. I mean, I'm in air conditioning, I can have soup. And then the longest time, all I wanted to eat was broccoli. And I mean, I eat chicken. I love salmon, absolutely love salmon. And my husband's thing is asparagus, so we'll eat asparagus. I could probably count on one hand I've eaten potatoes just because I know when I check my sugars, my glucose, it goes up some with potatoes, but not sweet potatoes.
Yeah.
You,
White
I can have,
potatoes can be a trigger for sure for some folks. So that's good. Do
mhm.
you know that about yourself? It's so important.
Yeah, yeah, we find that. And I have a wonderful baker in town who does sourdough, and he is way into teaching people, about the benefits of the sourdough or levain, because that's what they call it in France.
Hmm.
And he uses whole wheat, ancient grains, that sort of thing that he grows here in Southern
Wow.
Arizona. Yeah. So I found him, and he has helped me immensely. I mean, we talk all the time, and he says, try
Mm.
this one. He has different breads and stuff and uses different flours and grains. I also buy his grains so that I can make those, to have as a side or whatever to go with the quinoa or the, brown rice or whatever, because I'll mix them up. And, my plate looks totally balanced. Half of my plate is veggies. It is. That's the one thing that changed big, big time in my life. And then, um, the protein, which is usually chicken, very little beef. I like beef. I love the flavor of beef, but I can have maybe two or three bites, and that's enough.
Yeah,
It just fills me up.
totally.
And then,
Well, you're listening to your body.
yes,
What works for you?
totally, totally. And then and the other little portion um, is the grain. And so
Cool.
the grains really important to me. To me, not only the veggies fill me up, but that grain fills me up too.
Yes, that's
And
so
so
important.
mentally, yeah, mentally, I think that's where I'm at, and
Hmm.
that's what my plate looks like.
Cool.
Um, if I decide to have a sandwich, I'll make myself a half a sandwich, and I'm lucky if I finish that half a sandwich. On the side, I'll put, a couple olives, um, cucumbers. I love cucumbers. It's such a difference in the amount of food that I eat because that's all I want. I get full. I feel sorry for my husband. I know I keep bringing him up, but he's such a help
Oh,
because I go, "Do you want to eat the rest of this?" And he has started now to eat less. So he'll tell me right out. He'll say, "I can't. I'm
hmm.
full," and I'll
Hmm.
say, "Okay," and I don't have a problem getting rid of that food. Where we were saving it for so long before. I'd have all kinds of little baggies in my fridge of saved food that we never ate. Anyway, that's what my food looks like now. And sometimes I'm not real hungry. I will say at the end of the day, if I need something like a snack or a sweet or something like that, it's the full fat yogurt that I make because it tastes so good and creamy. Um, and then I'll, add some blueberries or whatever to put on top. I'll sprinkle some granola on it. My favorite is the crunchy vanilla. Um, so I make a lot of that. But it's just such a different life, it really is. And I love it. I don't want to
Truly.
eat the other stuff.
I love that. I mean, okay, so this is like such a wild transformation. You used to love sweets
Yeah.
and not love vegetables, and now it's completely flipped.
Yeah.
And so let's talk a little bit about that. Like, how was that transformation for you? How did you go from eating almost no vegetables to having your plate like full of half vegetables? Is that like, did that happen through like forcing yourself to eat more vegetables, or did that happen like your taste buds shifted, or I would love to hear just a little bit more about that.
Oh, I think my taste buds shifted. I think on a lot of things it shifted. And, that first 4 months, like I said, every single meal, I followed the meal plans. And so I was eating it. And I didn't feel like I was forced to because I wanted to do this and I wanted
Okay.
to see what the change, was going to be. And so I started liking it. I mean, this stuff is good stuff. It tastes
Yeah.
good. And the way it was put together, was great.
Mm,
So, I mean, I ate cucumbers and tomatoes before this, but that very little. I mean, the only green vegetable I would ever eat before was spinach, and that was it. Um, I have a funny story, and I'll make it short. But when I was growing up, my mother and my sister and my dad didn't like vegetables, but my mother and my sister loved them, and so she would always have vegetables on my plate, and I was told I had to eat those before I left the table. Well, I started like putting it under the plate, so how dumb can we be when we're young? It's like, my mom would pick up the plate, right? And there would be all these vegetables sitting there. So it was pretty comical to see
mm.
the food stay on top of the plate until I ate it all
Yes. Oh my
once that
goodness.
happened.
Well, I'm so grateful that I think like something that's really wonderful and amazing is the ability for our taste buds to adapt and change if you're open to giving some of this the foods that you maybe you're a little apprehensive about a try. One of the ways that we really try to make vegetables more approachable is by flavoring them and not like making you eat boiled beets, right? We want to make this food delicious, and so we invite you to use different herbs and spices and cooking methods that make something like a beet, which can be a little controversial. Some people think it tastes like dirt, right? And roast it and bring out all those natural like sweetness flavors. Um, and I think that that can be like a really great way to introduce vegetables to folks. And it sounds like it's the one of the ways that we've hooked you into healing your body is by offering beautifully prepared, delicious vegetables and balanced meals. What do you eat now when you have a sweet craving? I'd love to hear about that. Is that the yogurt combination that you just mentioned?
That is, and
Cool.
of course
Okay.
that happens at home, all the
Yeah.
time. Introduce so many other people to that, just eating that.
Yes. Oh my God, it hits the spot. I love hearing that. So what was your sweets, like go-to sweet prior to joining the program?
Oh my gosh, what wasn't? You know, I mean, I would go to the grocery store and now they have that, one slice of cake, or something like that. Well, I would get two of those, and bring those home and eat those. And then, of course, donuts, I'd stop for a donut, thing like that. There were times where, I would buy a dozen donuts, bring them home to my husband and I, and we wouldn't go through it in one day. It did take us a few days, to go through them, but you want to eat when they're still fresh. But the thing, that's happened, one of the things that Anna said that stuck with me because I wanted it to stick with me from the beginning was once in a while, you go to the coffee shop, they have a chocolate chip cookie. Um, have that chocolate chip cookie, and then you go back and you're eating all these healthy foods. I do that. I do it maybe it's once every 2 months. It's not a weekly thing at all. I don't crave it, but sometimes I meet a friend at a coffee shop or something, and that's what I'll do. I don't even finish that cookie. It's amazing, but I've had it. My mind says, you know, you gave yourself a treat, and you didn't kill yourself. It didn't take you off the edge so that now you're going to have it all the time. I never buy any cookies from the store. I never get, more than one cookie. The other thing is, which is really hard for me, is the sweets that we have on the program. They're all delicious, but I found I was the only one eating them. Even people coming over. And even if I put them in the freezer, you know, I was the only one eating them. So it's not very often that I'll make something like that, so I stick with the yogurt. I do need to try the nice cream just because I haven't tried it.
Yeah, why not?
I mean, I'm just not hungry,
Yeah. No, and
I'll
if it doesn't appeal to you, then it's whatever. I think that that yogurt with berries and granola is like such a nice mix. It's got wonderful fiber, beautiful healthy fats, the protein you need to not spike your blood sugars, and it hits the mark when you are craving something sweet. So I think it's perfect for you. I love you. What a concept. A dozen donuts to like a nice healthy bowl of yogurt with granola for your sweets. Like such a transformation. I feel like that's a great example of how much your mindset and relationship with food has healed. And just the freedom you've offered yourself to, you know, shift. You
yeah,
can now enjoy a little bit of a cookie when you're going out on a little coffee or tea date with one of your girlfriends and not be triggered to spiral down a deep dark hole binging. You can enjoy it, leave the rest of the cookie, move on. Your next healthy meal is right there around the corner, something you prepared at home that is nourishing for your body.
yeah.
That's incredible. Well, I'm so proud of you. It's really such a gift to be able to see these kinds of incredible transformations, especially ones where you've been in this for the long haul. You've really dedicated several years to healing your body. It's not a quick process. It's something that takes time and consistency. And even when you've been doing it for several years, right? You said at your 4-year mark, you were kind of like, oh, like this really feels like this I get it now. And right when that clicked for you, you were able to make even more incredible changes and get off insulin, which is something I don't know if you ever thought. Did you ever think you'd be able to get off insulin?
No,
No.
I
Yeah.
didn't think it was possible. Even knowing that I'm losing the weight and everything, I think one time that one of the doctors had told me, "You will never be off of insulin. You will be on it for the rest of your life." So that was always in my mind. So when this doctor, which I love, said to me, "I think we're gonna stop the insulin now." I was like shocked. And she was like doing a happy dance too. It was hilarious. But
Oh my gosh, yes, she's thrilled for you. I
mhm,
love it. Oh, what a
was
gorgeous moment. So incredible. Well, thank you so much, Deborah, for joining me today. It's been such a pleasure chatting with you. I'm so excited to share your story, and it's very inspiring for all of us. So thank
thank
you.
you. Thank you.